It's Thai Pongal today, the second day of the 4-day-long harvest festival. The first day is the Bogi festival in honor of Lord Indra. The second, today, which is Thai Pongal, where offerings of boiled milk and rice is offered to the sun god and where kolam adorns the entrance of homes. The third day is Mattu Pongal, in celebration of cows who are decorated with sheaves of corn and bells and worshipped. And on the fourth day of the festival, Kanum Pongal, where leftover sweets are fed to the birds. Happy Pongal and welcome to Kaleidoscope with me, Savithri Rodrigo. If you like what we do, just subscribe or follow us. Kaleidoscope with Savithri Rodrigo is on multiple digital channels: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Coming up on our show, Sri Lanka has a hard choice to make. A progress report on the tea auctions. More fish out of the water than in. And taking your sweet tooth on country roads. There's lots more in our dose of positive, daring, different.
Hold your breath in for a moment. Find your calm. This is the Green Embassy, Homagama. Invest just 3 million rupees to reserve 0710 777 Prime Lands Residencies PLC.
Well, it's time for Snapshot in a quick look at the week that was. Moody's estimates Sri Lanka's fiscal deficit narrowing to about 9 to 10% of GDP in 2022 from 11% in 2021. The inflation-adjusted GDP growth forecast for 2022 is estimated at 5%. Advocata's Batkari indicator, which tracks monthly changes in the price of food, records a 15% increase in food prices in a single month from November to December. Sri Lankan Airlines recorded its first profitable month in December since the pandemic and also re-established its code share with American Airlines to now cover a total of 121 cities in 55 countries. Air New Zealand is the first among the world's safest airlines, with Etihad placed second and Qatar third. UK-based World Finance named Srilanka Life as the best life insurer in Sri Lanka for 2021, recognizing its sector-leading performance and commitment to continuous improvement. Sri Lankan Timothy Shannon Jabasilan broke the world record for the highest catch of a cricket ball from 393 feet and 3 inches. Welcome back to our news capsule. Standard & Poor's lowered Sri Lanka's long-term sovereign credit rating to CCC, citing increasing external financing risks and the rising probability of sovereign default. Sri Lanka's foreign reserves are at critically low levels, and the country is now facing a double-edged sword. Do we meet our foreign debt obligations, or do we use the money to import essentials for people's survival? I asked Senior Research Fellow of Advocata Institute, Dr. Roshan Pereira, what the priority should be.
The immediate issue we face is repaying this international sovereign bond of $500 million US, which comes due in January. This would provide a windfall gain to those holding the bonds, but it will be at a great cost to the people of this country, who are already facing shortages of food, medicine, and fuel, etc. So in these circumstances, I think it is in the best interest of all of our citizens for the government to defer payment until the economy can fully recover and rebuild. But this requires a plan. The government must immediately engage its creditors in a debt restructuring exercise. We have a hard choice to make, but the consequences are clear.
Having started off the year being rather bullish, this week saw the Colombo stock market turn a little bearish. The all-share price index moved up marginally by 0.62%, with the daily turnover averaging a healthy 8.6 billion rupees. WTI oil prices hit 2-month highs this week, moving above $82 per barrel on tight supply and a weaker US dollar. Gold prices moved up slightly this week to $1,825 per ounce level on the back of a weaker US dollar. In April 2020, the 153-year-old tea industry saw a revolution. The Colombo tea auctions went digital. The pandemic forced this nearly 130-year-old tradition of the open outcry auction to use technology to sell Ceylon tea. The Colombo e-tea auctions thus came into being. I asked head of the Colombo Tea Auction Automation Steering Committee and director of Akbar Brothers Group, Huzaifa Akbar Ali, whether the e-auctions had the same vibrancy and excitement as the open outcry auction.
It is hard to recreate the vibe and excitement that was present in the auditoriums of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce through an e-auction platform. However, the competitiveness in bidding has not diminished an iota. Buyers and brokers are learning new strategies of communicating with each other using this e-auction platform.
So Huzaifa, how has it panned out?
In general, the response of the tea trade has been very positive. We have had encouraging feedback regarding the convenience and efficiency of using this system. We are hoping to develop the e-auction platform further with additional features and new functionality. This will increase efficiency and convenience and ensure greater transparency and fairness of transactions.
And Huzaifa, with everything opening up, will the auctions revert to a hybrid of e and physical, or will it go completely online?
Speaking to all stakeholders, the feedback that I get is that they are happy with the current e-auction system. I don't think that when the country opens up, we will go back to the physical auction again.
The BMW Flow electric SUV concept car changes color at the press of a button, going through an entire color palette in a matter of seconds. The specially formed wrapping cut to fit the SUV's body panels uses e-ink technology, with the colored panels cut precisely to match the shape of the body panels. In a 1 in a 2 million chance, twins were born in California on different days, different months, and different years. Alfredo Antonio was born at 11:45 p.m. on New Year's Eve, and his twin sister Eileen Yolanda was born as the clock struck midnight, heralding the new year of 2022.
Hold your breath in for a moment. Find your calm. This is the Green Embassy, Homagama. Invest just 3 million rupees to reserve 0710 777 Prime Lands Residencies PLC.
World of risks and obstacles, we are there to help you reach your goals. With 12 billion rupees worth of customer benefits in 2020 and a life insurance fund worth over 100 billion rupees. Our strength is your strength. You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.
Sri Lanka is one of the world's 35 biodiversity hotspots. We have 722 species of endemic fauna and flora, but we are number 6 in the list of countries most vulnerable to climate change. We are in a quandary. Time to take the bull by the horns then. The Lanka Environment Fund has been looking at the long-term survival of Sri Lanka's ecosystem. 4 thematic areas: terrestrial conservation, marine conservation, effective waste management, and responsible tourism. Chatting with me on Srilanka Life Let's Talk is Vinod Malvatta, a conservationist who has a keen interest in natural resource governance. He's the current executive director of the Lanka Environment Fund and the co-founder of the Parrotfish Collective. Welcome, Vinod. Now, the Lanka Environment Fund has been working on a number of projects in the area of conserving Sri Lanka's ecosystems. Let me hone in from your 4 thematic areas. Let me hone in on marine conservation. So given that we are an island, marine debris is a huge problem. It's not just from Sri Lanka's marine debris that we have to, is a challenge, but from the area of the entire Indian Ocean. How has LEF been able to focus on this?
We've actually got a 3-year project that we're working on. It's called the Mannar Region Systemic Solutions Project, and it's a transboundary project between Sri Lanka and India, and we're looking at marine debris within the Gulf of Mannar. There's a marine conservation group in Sri Lanka as well as in the Indian side working on it, and what we're looking at doing is doing transects of beach surveys, as well as engaging with the fishing community to look at what are the main polluters of the area, what kind of debris is washing up in this area, which is of critical importance both ecologically and economically. So that's one thing that we're doing at the moment.
So LEF has been involved and requires funding for a number of projects, marine conservation projects. Briefly, what are these and why were these picked?
So we're working on one currently in the Bar Reef Marine Sanctuary with the Environmental Foundation. It's called a Community Livelihood and Biodiversity Recovery Project. Then we've also got several mangrove related projects that we're working on in Anavilundava Sanctuary as well as within the Vidat Taltiu Nature Reserve. How we see it is Sri Lanka being an island destination, we have to conserve our marine resources that are around us, as well as with changing climatic conditions. It's important for us to look at nature-based solutions if we have to thrive and ensure that our coastal communities have a future.
Responsible fisheries management is an issue that's not focused on much, although it is a challenge that we have to address. How do we go about shedding the spotlight on this?
Well, unfortunately, there aren't a lot of assessments. There's actually no stock assessments done. Recently, we've had some swimmer crab, blue swimmer crab stock assessments done, but with a lot of the export species as well as other species that are consumed in Sri Lanka, with no stock assessments done, we actually don't know where we are. So a starting point would be to do a stock assessment, which should be carried out. There are experts in Sri Lanka, but in conjunction with the relevant departments, that would be the Department of Fisheries, and looking at where we are, and then putting fisheries management plans in place to ensure that these stocks are managed properly. And then we can also look at increased surveillance. Sri Lanka's got a marine area which is almost 8 times the size of Sri Lanka. So it's like, how can we look into those areas, whether it's using technology or different methods of surveillance. We need to ensure that our waters are not fished by, we'll say, other countries' vessels that come into Sri Lankan waters.
Sri Lanka is expected to be one of the 5 yellowfin tuna fishing destinations in the Indian Ocean by 2023. Now, how do we manage this?
Yeah, very interesting, because right now, in 2019, latest surveys showed that almost 80% of the tuna caught in Sri Lanka were juvenile or immature. So again, when you look at the statistics, it is quite a dire situation as we move forward. So it's again doing those stock assessments, kind of looking at enforcement of some of the rules and regulations that we have in place, as well as looking to how we can converge some of the things that we're pushing economically, as well as some of the livelihoods related issues that we have.
So as far as I can see, you have a long road ahead of you.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone does in Sri Lanka with conservation, because we are a small country, and population growth is on the rise. We would say development is spreading across the country. So it's like, how do we kind of converge conservation and development in order to move forward is one of the biggest challenges we all face.
So good luck, Vinod.
Thank you so much.
And well done with all the stuff you're doing right now.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fadila Fairuz decided to let her sweet tooth wander and began a home business called Country Roads Lanka, producing locally sourced delicacies using no artificial flavors, additives or fillers.
At Country Roads, we have a variety of locally sourced pure Sri Lankan food products. For instance, with the Kithul Jaggery, we work directly with the Kithul tappers, and we are involved in the production process so that we can supply a good quality product to my customers. So is the homemade kalu dodol. We use the best of ingredients, and it's a super hit among my customers. Added to that, we've got spice blends, chutneys, sambols and syrups. At the moment, we are available on Instagram and Facebook and we are in the process of building a website so that we can reach out to customers both locally and internationally.
And so, wishing you a happy Thai Pongal. Keep our Kaleidoscope takeaway in mind. Always do your best. What you plant now, you will harvest later.